Hello everyone, this is Yanis Makula here at Spellbinders, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'll show you how to create underwater birthday party card using Spellbinders dies, and I'll give you 3 different layout ideas using same supplies. I'm going to be using several dies, starting with the sea animal dies, sea life dies, along with a few basic shapes such as a standard circle small, pierced circle dies, A2 Mating Basics B card creator dies, and finally curved borders 1 dies. I'm only going to show you how to create one of the projects in this video. The other 2 cards use identical supplies for the most part, but the layout of the elements is slightly different. Feel free to pick the one you like best. Keep in mind you can also turn any of these projects into a shaker by adding a layer of acetate and some sequins or beads to shake inside the card. I'm going to use a circle die and also a pierced circle die to die cut an opening in this white cardstock panel. It is cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. The second die I have here, the larger die, is not going to cut anything but tiny dots, so it will only add some interest to this project. I'm using my Platinum 6 die cutting and embossing machine today to do my die cutting. Once my panel is done, I'm going to use foam adhesive and will foam mount it onto an A2 top folding card base made out of Simon Says Stamp sea glass cardstock. You'll notice that one of my cards uses a light gray cardstock for the front panel, and that also looks great. So don't feel like you have to go with white, look for other colors of paper you can try. I can now go ahead and die cut the critters to place inside my little aquarium here. First, I'm going to use the ferns and will cut and also emboss several out of green apple cardstock. I want to have some greenery at the bottom of this ocean, and I'm using my fingers to shape the die cuts. I always do this when I'm die cutting leaves or petals. I think that this simply makes the die cuts look a little bit more realistic. You can also use an ink blending tool and some ink and do ink blending around the edges if you'd like, but I decided to skip doing this for today. I'm also die cutting and embossing a little crab out of red cardstock, an octopus out of blue, a couple fish from yellow, and finally a jellyfish out of gray. Jellyfish also looks great when die cut out of white or even vellum. If you cut it out of vellum, it's going to be a little bit see-through, but you'll have to keep in mind that you need to plan to overlap something to place something over it to be able to use foam adhesive to foam mount the jellyfish and then hide the foam adhesive. I also wanted to mention the octopus. Make sure to emboss it, as embossing adds some really cool texture to this die cut, and it just doesn't look the same without it. Here I have 2 octopi side by side. One is embossed and the other one isn't. Can you see the texture? I think it looks really cool. So now that we have all of our bits and pieces ready, we can adhere them in place. I've already planned how I want to position the elements on my card, so I'm just going to use glue and we'll adhere the ferns first. I'm trying to position them so that they go a little bit outside of my die cut window and overlap my white die cut panel. Next, I'm going to foam mount the jellyfish at the top of my opening, at the top of the circle. We'll adhere the blue octopus somewhat in the middle, and I also have 2 yellow fish. I'll try to adhere one of them so that it's hidden in the ferns, and the other one will be foam mounted on top. One last piece I need to add to this project is the little red crab. All this card needs now is a fun sentiment. Now, I've already stamped "Thanks for having a birthday" so we can party sentiment in black ink onto light gray cardstock, and I'm going to use a circle die and will die cut a partial circle. I want the bottom to be flat so I can align it with the bottom edge of the card. Our project is done. If you would like, you can add some fun additional accents like air bubbles using glossy accents or Nuvo drops. I'm going to use Nuvo drops in Morning Dew and will add a bunch of bubbles here and there. Now, this particular color of Nuvo drops dries clear and it ends up being a lot more dimensional than glossy accents, so I really love using it for things like this. You can also adhere little beads or droplets or even enamel dots. Another idea is to die cut tiny circles out of white cardstock and adhere those. So this finishes this card. Remember, you can arrange your sea animals any way you like and still have the same fun birthday party card. Here's a closer look at these projects created using Spellbinders, sea animals, and sea life dies. If you have any questions about this card, please leave them in the comment section below. And be sure to subscribe to Spellbinders' YouTube channel for more education and inspiration. If you're looking for a list of supplies to create this card, you can find it in the video description down below and also on my blog. On the screen, you're seeing a few more additional videos using Spellbinders, stamps, and dies. Feel free to check them out for more inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time. Bye!